In the wake of the pandemic, many Japanese found themselves wanting to move, and often to more rural and remote parts of the country. For some, it was to avoid the high transmission rates of the big city, while for others, it was more about capitalizing on the freedom that newfound remote work had provided. Still, others opted for rural locations to save money in the wake of pandemic related job losses and industry downturns. We're a few years from that initial pandemic surge, but the move towards rural Japan is still ongoing. As the world crosses 8 billion people and counting, Tokyo has come up with a unique solution. I sat down with Ankur and discussed this current situation in Tokyo in detail. I'm Mukta Goyal, and you're listening to the News Park. Tokyo, the capital city of Japan, is known for its vibrant culture, delicious food, and fast paced lifestyle. But for many residents, the city is becoming increasingly difficult to call home. However, as the population continues to grow, the government is taking steps to encourage residents to move out of the city and into regional areas by offering financial incentives. The Japanese government is offering financial incentives for people to move out of Tokyo. Ankur, do you know how much are they offering?
Well, I've heard that the government is offering up to 3 million yen, which is about 30,000 US dollars.
That's correct. The Japanese government is offering up to 3 million yen or approximately 30,000 US dollars for residents who choose to move out of Tokyo and into regional areas. So, to give you the exact figures, eligible families in the Tokyo metropolitan area will be able to receive 1 million yen, which is $7,700 per child starting in the fiscal year 2023 if they move to a disadvantaged local area. And under the new proposal, a household with two children could receive, like you said, 3 million yen in support if they left the Tokyo area.
Well, Tokyo is so crowded the government is paying families to leave. Starting in April, eligible families will receive 1 million yen, that's $7,700 in U.S. money, to move to less populated areas across the country. Tokyo is the country's most populous city with roughly 37 million residents.
Well, given the world we live in now post-pandemic, this is definitely something to consider. It's a big incentive to consider a move, and it could be a great opportunity to start new in a new place.
Yes, by spreading out the population, the government hopes to address issues such as housing affordability, traffic congestion, and air pollution in the capital city. Additionally, by stimulating economic growth in rural areas, it hopes to create more job opportunities and improve the overall quality of life for residents.
And it would be great to have more job opportunities outside of the city. I've always been fascinated by Tokyo. The energy and excitement of the city is like nowhere else in the world. At least that's what I see in the news and hear people say. Tokyo is known for its bright lights, bustling streets, and endless opportunities. It's no wonder that so many people want to call it home.
You can get many job opportunities. That's one of the good things. And also, like, you have many education choices for your kids. Like, you can put your kids into like international school or private school or public school or anything you want. It's very convenient. Like, you have train, subway, Shinkansen, airplane, like you have everything. It's very international. So that means they have many opportunities, obviously. And everything is really fast.
These are just a few of the many reasons why people are drawn to Tokyo. The city is a melting pot of cultures and has a rich history and heritage that is celebrated in its art, food, and fashion. It's a place where anything is possible and where dreams do come true. It is a global business hub. It's the center of the Japanese economy and home to many of the world's leading companies.
Yeah, and it's not just big corporations. The startup scene is booming too. Tokyo is a hotspot for innovation and entrepreneurship.
Plus, there's a wide variety of industries here, from finance to technology, fashion to food. There's something for everyone.
Yeah, and the diversity of job in Tokyo is one of its main draws. The city is home to many large multinational companies as well as a thriving small business and startup scene. I'm in the tech industry, and the level of innovation and R&D there is unmatched. Tokyo is actually at the forefront of technology, and it's an exciting place to be for a techie.
I'm sure it is. But the city is becoming increasingly difficult to call home, and more people are choosing to live outside of Tokyo. People are like, I used to love living in Tokyo, but the cost of living is getting just too high. Rent and utilities are through the roof, and it's hard to make ends meet.
Yeah, I've heard that traffic is a nightmare too. It takes hours to get to work and back every day, and people barely have any time to spend with their families.
This is so true. These are just few of the many challenges facing residents of Tokyo. The city's population has grown rapidly in recent years, putting a strain on public services and infrastructure. It's just becoming impossible for so many people to live in one place.
The Shinkansen is great, but it is expensive.
Way more expensive than plane.
Yeah, even
That is
more
crazy.
than plane. Yeah, which is insane. Sometimes I find that I only shop in recycle shops in Japan for clothes. I find that going to like some of the like department stores, the clothes, I'm just like I can't afford a lot of them. I would say that clothes are something that I find a little bit more expensive, but I think the quality is better here potentially.
So that makes sense.
Yeah. I would say fruit. Fruit, that's the most expensive. That's most really expensive in Japan,
Fruit?
though. Like apples, you can get like a whole bag of apples for £1, which is like 130 yen, like a whole bag, as opposed to just one apple.
Oh.
I only really ever buy bananas here in Japan
Yeah, it's
because they're the
cheap, yeah.
cheapest. Yeah, the cheapest thing is bananas. I'm like, I can't touch anything else. It's too expensive.
Something needs to change. So many people are choosing to live in smaller cities or rural areas where the cost of living is lower, the air is cleaner, and the pace of life is slower. So tell me, Ankur, can you move to a small city?
Like forever?
Yes, forever. Away from a fast paced lifestyle to a smaller, more peaceful city. Can you?
Honestly, it's hard to even consider, but I think the trade-off for more relaxed lifestyle is worth it. Choosing to leave the hustle and bustle of a crowded city and finding a new home on the outskirts might be a good decision.
But don't forget, Tokyo is not like any other developed city. It is the city with the most advanced technology. And this advanced technology is not just for the rich, but for every ordinary person living in Tokyo. Just to give you an example, it is home to some of the busiest train stations in the world. Shinjuku Station alone handles an average of 3.6 million passengers per day.
Wow.
To cope with the high volume of people, the train stations have implemented advanced technology such as facial recognition to speed up the process of entering and exiting the stations.
Well, facial recognition on train station is something I think is years away, if not decades, in North America. Moreover, Tokyo has some of the fastest internet speeds in the world. The city's advanced fiber optic network allows for download speeds of up to 100 gigabytes per second. This is more than 100 times faster than the average speed in United States.
Yes, Tokyo is one of the most populous cities in the world too, with a population of over 13 million people. To put that into perspective, the population of Tokyo is larger than that of many countries, for instance, Greece.
Yep, I also read that. Greece is upwards of 10 million, whereas, as you said, Tokyo is close to like 13 or 14 million.
Right, and Tokyo's population density is also one of the highest in the world, with over 6,000 residents per square kilometer. It's more than twice as dense as New York City and more than 10 times as dense as Los Angeles.
Wow, well, I know that it is full of international residents. There are over 400,000 non Japanese residents living in the city, with the largest group coming from China, South Korea, and the Philippines.
That's such a great thing about Tokyo, isn't it? That it is so multicultural.
Well, it is, but I don't think Tokyoites would like it.
Really?
Well, yeah, as the number of foreign residents increase, the need for translated information and multilingual services have grown. I read that some residents feel that not everyone is able to communicate effectively, which has led to confusion and frustration. Also, some Tokyoites believe that the influx of foreign residents is contributing to the housing crisis, as they are willing to pay higher prices for housing than the locals.
Rental accommodation, you have like 40% of foreigners who have looked for it have been told no because they're a foreigner, and ones who haven't actually been told no have been told they need more guarantors or need to prove their Japanese language ability or blah 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 blah, all sorts of conditions around it.
The thing is that for the past 2 weeks, and before that actually, I was trying to get like an apartment as quick as possible, but it is actually much more difficult than I thought. I think it's mainly because I'm a foreigner, and they say it's because of the language. And my mom always said to them, like, if you say that there's going to be earthquake or that she has to leave, she will understand that. But she cannot, now she cannot answer back, but she will understand. But it doesn't matter for them, I think.
But yeah, these concerns are not solely directed at any particular group of foreigners, but rather it's a general feeling of frustration towards the increasing population and the challenges it brings.
Yes, but tell me, are these challenges only in Tokyo? I'm sure Japan has many other amazing cities, right?
Nearly 1 out of every 3 people in Japan lives in the Tokyo area. But yes, apart from Tokyo, the prefectures of Chiba, Kanagawa, and Saitama posted significant population growth, and the Japanese government is also trying to lure people to move out of all these areas.
This is not the first time that Japan's government has adopted strategies to lure people to move out to rural areas. They have, in fact, for decades tried to lure people away from the capital and help rebuild depopulated and dilapidated areas in a program popularly known as revitalization of regions. Some local governments have used tax cut to encourage companies to leave the Tokyo area, while others subsidize relocation costs.
Yes, and one island in the Seto Island Sea crowdfunded money to rebuild an old house into accommodation for new arrivals and actually managed to attract a few newcomers. You know, the central government has even considered relocating some of Tokyo's rapidly growing elderly population outside of the capital.
And some areas are enjoying success in attracting people and businesses to leave Tokyo, such as Fukuoka, a mid-sized city in Kyushu, which has seen a large influx of tech workers and startups, drawn to the city's lower cost and proximity to talent and markets in other parts of Asia. You know, Fukuoka is considered as a model for sustainable growth in Asia. It has all the amenities of a modern urban city, and yet traffic congestion is rare. It maintains a balance between development and environmental conservation, between urban areas and suburban, and between modernity and tradition. Fukuoka also has local agriculture and fisheries industries that can supply fresh food, as well as businesses such as animation and robotics that attracts young professionals.
I'm certain Japan has the intent to build its other rural cities just like the model city of Fukuoka that you're talking about.
I certainly hope with such an attractive amount offered this time, many people will like to benefit out of it. So tell me, there must be some catch in the policy, as people just can leave right now and take the money, and after some years, come back to Tokyo.
Obviously, the Japanese government is smart. Many families would have thought of securing some easy money before returning to the capital, but it is not as easy as it sounds. People taking benefit of this scheme must live in their new homes for at least 5 years, and one member of the household must be in work or plan to open a new business. Those who move out before 5 years have passed will have to return the cash. Moreover, the government will be implementing a monitoring system to track the progress of the relocation. They will also be conducting regular surveys to gather feedback from those who have been relocated. And the application for the subsidy must be made between the 3 months and 1 year of moving into the municipality. It is also important for applicants to show that they intend to live in the area for at least 5 years.
Relocation benefit recipients must reside in a participating municipality for at least 5 years while employed. They will be asked to return the money if they move out before the required time lapses. There are incentives for starting a new business in the host municipality as well.
So basically, they must find a job or start a business in the new region.
Well, they can also continue with their old jobs via remote working.
Oh, that's great then.
It does sound appealing. Municipalities are coming forward to be a part of this program. About 1,300 municipalities have taken part in the relocation support program already.
That's just so amazing. Japan indeed believes in all-round development of the country.
Agreed. And not just Japan. Regions of Switzerland, Australia, Italy, Spain, Portugal, Ireland, as well as a number of US states have all developed incentives to lure potential residents away from the big cities.
Even the US states?
Even the US states. They have specifically enticed young people and their laptops to new homes, even if they turn out to be temporary. Oklahoma, Minnesota, Vermont, and Kansas all have grants to move that specify remote work as one of the criteria, and some even include free co-working space as a perk.
Wow. And I know a significant number of people who have lived in places such as New York City who have never been to the top of Empire State Building, rode out to Statue of Liberty, or set foot in a Broadway theater. They sure as heck plan on it, but just never found the time.
That's absolutely right. And I think with time and population growth, these things are going to surface more and encourage people to seriously consider moving.
Well, thank you, Mugdha, for discussing this topic, and hopefully our listeners have something to think about.
Moving from an urban or suburban area to a more rural community can be a big change, but for many, it's a life-changing and worthwhile one. Often, it saves you significant money too. Funds you can use towards your retirement, traveling, or achieving other financial and long-term life goals. What Tokyo is doing is not something new, and probably something which other countries or states will consider. Only time can tell if such policies are successful in restoring a balance for a little bit longer. Thank you for listening. See you next time.